Hey guys, I'm back. The magic happened, as you can tell. As you can see, it's pretty yellowy, and that's what happens. Like I said, it gets orange and yellow tones when you bleach. So that's normal, and that was completely and fully expected. I'm going to mention some things that I had forgotten to say in the last video about rinsing out the other out the bleach. So what I do when I rinse out the bleach is I get in the shower and I kind of give myself a little bit of time, and I splash some water on my hair and suds it up, kind of. Just make sure that it's all wet again and leave it for a second while I do everything else. And then I kneel on the bottom of my shower. And here's the reason that I do that. Because when the water is splashing off of the bleach, it'll splash everywhere. So I have, my shower is porcelain or ceramic or whatever, and tile, but above about this height, it's regular wall. So, and ceiling about yay high. So I don't want to get bleach or hair dye of any sort all over the walls. So I just kind of got in the habit of kneeling on the bottom of the shower and rinsing out the dye or the bleach. Then I rinse it as fully as I can. Then I get conditioner, put it in my hands and run it as much through my hair as I can. And then I rinse again. The reason I do this is because your hair will mat up, while you're trying to rinse the dye out. And you don't want to leave a chunk of bleach in your hair for any length of time, obviously. So what you're going to do is just put a little bit of conditioner in here. Make sure you can run your fingers through all of your hair. The longer your hair is, the more conditioner you need, just like normal. But you need to make sure you fully rinse it out. So you're going to rinse as much as you can completely. And then what I do is I wash it. I wash out anything. That way there's nothing lingering. There's no bleach left in my hair. There's no conditioner left in it either. I'll throw a little bit more conditioner in it if it feels really tangly, and then rinse that out completely just so that I can do that. Because the next step is going to be to tone it. And what you're going to do is you're going to have to be able to run that stuff completely through your hair as well. So you don't want to have to miss a chunk and have a chunk of yellow hair and then a bunch of purple hair and white hair and whatever. You want to try to keep it as even as possible. Now, your hair is going to have natural highlights and lowlights in it from the parts you missed, and you don't really want your hair to all be one completely solid color anyway, so that's okay, but you don't want big chunks of yellow hair either. So I just want to make sure to mention that. Also use a towel that you're not a big fan of, because you could still have bleach in your hair, or after the toning or dyeing of any sort, you could still have a little bit of dye in your hair. And a lot of times, especially if you're doing a darker color like black or red, it will continue to bleed a little bit throughout the night. So you're going to use a towel that you're not a big fan of keeping that same color. Like, don't use the fancy towels with your names monogrammed in them, if people have those. And use black pillowcases or sleep over a towel, just to be on the safe side for a couple days, because you don't want to ruin all your nice sheets and whatever. So we got our bowl and we've got our brush. And we're going to do this all over again. So we've got our Wella tea team. There are directions on the package. It is 2 to 1. So one of these is like 1.4 ounces. So we need twice that in developer. Okay, so 1 to 2. So we're going to do 1.4 full ounces, this whole bottle, and then we're going to do 3 ounces of this, almost, just a little under 3. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. It's going to be right. So I'm going to start the dumping. This, you have to be really careful not to get on anything. Once it's mixed together, it is going to be purple, and it is going to dye all of everything it touches like crazy. So we're going to do almost 3 full caps, or 3 full shot cups of this. 1, 2, and then most of the next one. So, all right, same deal. Scrape out the inside of the cup with the brush and rinse out the little shot cup. Stir the bleach or the dye, in this case toner. So I'm doing that right now. Feel free to keep the box for so you have directions with you. Like I said, I do this on a friggin' regular basis, so I'm pretty comfortable with not keeping the box. Just so you know, you're gonna want to do this in a very well ventilated area because my eyes are already starting to burn, and I'm way up here, and it's like down at hip height on the bathroom counter. So when you first start to mix the stuff up, it looks blonde for this color anyway. Obviously, every color is going to be different. Every toner is going to be different. But you're going to mix it, and it's going to turn into kind of like a jelly, gloopy, like, I'm trying to think of something else that's this texture. Jelly, like actual jelly, if it's kind of melty. It's thicker than what the pancake batter is, but it's a completely different texture too. Of the different texture than the bleach was. Yeah, so it's kind of gloopy. I know it's not a word, but it is now. Okay, so same as the other one. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you've run your fingers through your hair pretty well. Run a comb through it if you want. You don't really have to. All you're really trying to do is make sure you get that yellow out. So you do want to get all of the hair the same as you did last time. But you're going to do it the same way, kind of. I've tried using the brush for this completely, like doing the same way, blah, blah, blah brush. But your hair is supposed to be towel dried for this step, not completely dry. So your hair is still going to be kind of wet, and then it's going to be, it's harder to part. So the way that I found is easiest for me to do this is to kind of set the brush aside and just do it with my hands. So this is where the fun part comes in. So grab some of that gloopy crap and start getting it in the root area. So you're going to go straight to the roots. Be very careful not to get it in your eyeballs because it's going to burn. Maybe worse. What's worse than burning? Missing your eyeballs. That's what's worse than burning. Not having eyeballs anymore. Ah! Okay, so see? This is what happens. I'm trying to do double duty here and do two hands at once. I usually don't do that. I'm trying to show off for you guys. I'm sorry. And now my dress is going to have a big purple stain on it, which is fine because it's blue. So, and again, this is my staying at home doing nothing dress. So we're going to start. Try to get into the roots as much as possible. You want to do roots primarily because that's the part that's the yellowest. The ends are going to be already white, assuming that this isn't the first time you've done this. If it is the first time you've done this, then whatever, start at the roots anyway, because the ends of your hair are going to be drier, and drier hair soaks up dye faster. Correct? Yeah. I might be making that up. I don't think I am. Keep an eye out for where you drop dye as well, because you're going to want to clean it up as soon as possible. So if you get it on, say, your counter, like I just did, or the floor, like I do every time I do this, you're going to want to wipe that up pretty quickly because if not, it will stain. And you can't really see it being colored as you look down at it. It just looks kind of like an off-white, yellowy kind of thing. It is not. As you can tell, kind of, yeah, it's turning purple. So, kapow, kapow, kapow. All right, you're going to want to use a lot of this. If you can use all of it, use all of it. It's dye, so it doesn't, and you can't save it. So either use a half a bottle and just do a half if you have very short hair, or use the holding thing because there's no reason not to. Also, but you don't want to make sure, or you want to make sure it's not tripping off of your hair either, because again, it'll stain everything it touches. It is dye. This is not a joke. This is not a test. So yeah, so hair color, blah blah blah. Get those. Make sure that when you rinsed your hair and when you're combing it out and running your hands through it, you noticed where the very orangey spots were. They're often going to be in about the same places. I always have a problem with my temples and right in front. Everything is going to be orangey, but those are the parts you see. So that's what I'm more concerned about. Sure, people behind me might be concerned about the back of my head, but I'm not behind me, and this is all for me. So whatever. I'll need you. All right. I'm almost done here. So I forgot to tell you guys about one of the products that I always use, another product, again, non-specific, but some sort of leave-in conditioner. I like the henna placenta. I like olive oil based leave-in conditioners, color staying stuff. I basically, when I'm going to Sally to pick up the rest of my stuff, I just buy whatever's 99 cents in the packets. Usually they keep them up by the register, and it'll say, hey, 99 cents for these conditioners this week. And I just buy like 5 of them when I go. And it's all well and good then, because then what we're going to do is we're going to use that when we're rinsing this out. Yep, it feels like burning. All right. Again, don't forget to get those little baby back of your neck hairs unless you're planning on shaving them. But you keep in mind that if they're still dark and the rest of your hair is light, even if you're walking around for one day before you get a haircut, you're going to look ridiculous. Which again, this is for you, but keep in mind that people behind you will be like, why does she have so many neck hairs? Or he, whatever. I would not be surprised if guys watch my videos because they're like, I want to learn how to not have purple hair. I like my hair a little purpley, like white purple. So I actually leave the toner in a little longer than I would suggest other people do it. So you're supposed to do the roots primarily and not necessarily do the ends, but I kind of like the way it looks when it gets from white to purple. Whatever, I'm a weirdo. And it looks natural enough that you can usually get away with it at work until it fades, which will be like a couple days. But yeah, again, do this on a Friday, by Monday you're good. Okay, as you guys can see, we've got most of like a frosty whitish look, except for the top, very top is very purple. This part is very purple. The rest of it's starting to get a little purpley because over time, it's exposed to air, it's going to get the color that it's bleaching or it's dyeing. So the toner color. So make sure you get the baby hairs. And again, it will dye your skin a little bit, but this purpley color doesn't really stick to my skin really badly, so I should be fine. You don't want it plastered against itself really, because it stops the other hairs from getting enough reaction, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the scientific reason for it, but I tend to notice that if I plaster it all to my head, there is a lot more of a chance of not having chunks of my hair toned. So, all righty. So, bam, that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm rinsing my gloves and my brush and my stuff. Because I'm done with all this stuff now. So I'm going to completely rinse the brush fully. You don't really need to wash it. The dye and everything will come right off, or it should. It's got that gloopy texture that it doesn't stick. It kind of like it melts off kind of with hot water. So, and this. So, yeah, so my next steps, as I'm sure you guys can figure out, is I'm going to leave this on for a little while. So what I usually do while I'm leaving this on is I usually do my nails, my toenails, not my fingernails, because I'm just going to stick those in my hair and then get them all ganked up again. So, woo, all right. You get rid of the gloves completely. I always flip my gloves inside out. And then this one, inside out around the other one. Just so that I don't get dye everywhere when I'm chucking them in the garbage can. Although they're going straight in the garbage can, I still would rather not get dye everywhere. All right. And then make sure you wipe all the excess dye off of everything that you got dye on. Which in my case is always like everything. I narrowly missed getting my phone, but I did not. I got my phone. Okay. So all over the counter, on my mouse, on the sink. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do I have any stuff on the floor? No, because that's #1 priority, because that will stain. So I'm just wiping out the sink and everything, trying to get all the dye off of everything. The toner, dye, whatever. Yes, toner is a type of dye. So I keep saying dye and I'm correcting myself and I'm silly. Okay. All right, so that's all clean. So my next steps are going to be to, I'm going to rinse this out once I get to it. And my neck. I'm going to rinse this out. As soon as I get to that step, I'm going to give myself probably about 10, 15 minutes. And then rinse it. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of my regular conditioner in. Excuse me, again, for the same reason, so that I can get my fingers through it and make sure that all the dye is rinsed out. Then I'm going to shampoo it just like I do for the actual bleach. I'm going to shampoo my hair as well. And then after that's rinsed out and hopefully all the dye with it, you keep rinsing until the water runs clear. And then after that, you're going to put in that leave-in conditioner. So this is how I do it. I put the leave-in conditioner in. And it says wait like 3 or 4 minutes on the package or whatever. But what I do is I just put that in and then I shave or whatever it is that I'm doing. Sometimes I'll get the excess toenail polish off of my toes because I paint like a 3-year-old. So I'll spend that time doing that. And leave it in there. Some people get out of the shower and just kind of sit around and wait for it, which you totally can do, or leave it in your hair overnight. I've done that too. Just make sure you throw something over your hair so that you're not plastered with it to everything you own the next morning. But once you rinse it out, your hair should be good. You should be A-okay. You should be good to go. I don't like the smell of leave-in conditioner. I think it's gross. Or the extended, whatever, the deep conditioner. I think it's gross. I hate the smell. And I prefer the smell of my own conditioner. And I use a sulfate-free conditioner so that it doesn't yellow my hair. It doesn't wash out that toner. So I use sulfate-free, and I use L'Oreal because that's just what I find. I like the smells. It's a lemon and then a mint smell. So I put a little bit of that in just for to kind of counteract the deep conditioner smell. So I put a little bit of that in, and then I rinse it lightly. I leave a little bit of the residue of the conditioner in, just kind of keep it a little slimy so it's soft. And then I'm good to go. So again, this is the reason that you don't want to use your nice towels, because you will, yep, dye all over my boob. You will be very unhappy. So use your good towel. We're going to use a hydrating repair mask by Majestic Oil. Naturals brand. It's what I'm going to use for my deep conditioner, and I actually will only use part of this packet, and then I'll use another part of it tomorrow, and then 2 days after that. So I don't use it every single day, but basically first day, yes, second day, yes, and then every other day until it's gone. So it's like 3 or 4 depending. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll be good to go. And I'll have this adorably white blonde, purplish kind of hair, which is cool in my eyes. Whenever I do things that are cool to me. And then I'm good to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a haircut later this week. And hopefully the hairstylist won't be like, what the hell's with these chunks of yellow hair or not white hair. So yeah, so I always do my bleaching before I get my hair cut, so they can kind of let me know if I screwed up. Also, that way you're kind of damaging the ends of your hair, and they're going to get cut off anyway, so you're good. Yeah, so I know that this video was like super fun, the second one. Not as entertaining, I guess, as the first one probably, but it was a pretty quick step. You just got to get the toner on your hair. So I am going to slither out of this dress, and I'm going to do my toes, and I will do my next video with my new sweet hair color. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about bleaching your hair, ask a professional. Don't ask me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. But if you want to ask me, I take absolutely no responsibility if your hair falls out, or if your mom yells at you, or if everybody's like, your hair looks stupid. Just be like, yeah, it's definitely not Devin's fault. She told me I shouldn't listen to her. So there's that. So I'm going to stop video now, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse it and blah, blah, blah. And you guys will see it next time I make a video. Hopefully everything turns out okay. If it doesn't, I'll make another video just to show you guys how I screwed up. So that's cool. You're welcome. I like to share my failures with the masses. So, all right, you guys have a good night. And hopefully this cheered you up a little bit from the ridiculously depressing video earlier. So yeah, all right, you guys have a good night and best of luck with doing your own hair in your bathroom.